So now actually we're going to Mannheim in Germany, and we're going to listen to Christian Hübel. Did I say that right?
Perfect.
Yes, I'm really happy that I made that. Participation in complex issues, focusing on immigration inclusion. And you are a very diverse city, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So please tell us how you work. And I've heard a lot about your work, so I'm really eager to learn more. So please come up on stage. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you also for Salah for the invitation to share some of our experiences, the positive and the negative, with this honorable group. Which of you has heard of Mannheim before? Oh, quite a few, yes. But I'm sure you all know some inventions of Mannheim. One is the bicycle and the other one is the car. Yeah. And now we're looking to be sustainable and participation, diversity. Yeah, Mannheim as a diverse city. At the moment, this is a statistic from 2060s, we have 316,000 inhabitants with their first living area in Mannheim. And as you see, we have at the moment 45% of people who have a migration background. This is for Germany, but also for other cities quite a lot. And we have about 170 nations also in Mannheim. Also one people from the Vatican State. And we have different religions, Jews, Muslims, and Christians in Mannheim. And it's kind of the DNA of Mannheim since it was founded in 1607. There, the Count Karl Friedrich founded a new town at the crossing of the rivers Rhine and Neckar. And then he was looking for ambassadors, go to all over Europe, and to say, hey, there is a new town founded in Mannheim, in Germany, Baden-Württemberg, Palatina, and please come to this town, be tolerant to each other, but also make this town very prosperous. This works sometimes and sometimes not, because we were destroyed 3 times in our history totally. And so in some centuries, only 10,000 people were living there, and then we were increasing, then the next war was coming, and then we were destroyed again. So we had to suffer hard times, and we always tried to make the best of it. Yeah, challenges of diversity, some people I don't have to tell, but diverse people living together is not living as you say, on a powder keg, but there is a lot of tension in it because you have different cultures, different thinking, different rationalities, and we also try to say to the people, hey, you're different, but what makes you belong to this city? What are you dealing with when you are saying you are a Mannheimer? And we always try to say we want to foster it and we want to make things together and not living in our communities, the one in the Turkish community, the other in the Protestant community, or the other in the LSBTE community. We all want to make them feeling as one Mannheimer. And so we said, okay, to strengthen this democracy and this living together, we had in 2009 a bad struggle which was based on interreligious differences. And then we said, okay, we have to make a code of conduct. And so we brought the different religions together and also other people from the city to say, okay, what could be a code of conduct for the city of Mannheim? And so we said, okay, we want to make a declaration, and perhaps you can share it here. I have some copies also in English that we say, okay, what is the common sense of our living together? And so we said, okay, in awareness of the inherent dignity and the fundamental rights of each human being as they are expressed in the Declaration of Human Rights, we recognize the equality of diverse human identities and lifestyles. And that means the coexistence in our urban community is characterized by inclusion and by solidarity, and no one may be demeaned or discriminated against due to their social or ethnic origin, color, gender, mental or physical ability, age, sexual or gender identity, religion or other beliefs. And this was a very good document for us to refer when there was a tension. And at the moment, we not only try to say, hey, please sign this document. At the moment, we have 300 religion groups, cultural groups, also enterprises who signed this. No, we also want to live this together. And so we built Alliance Action Days. And in the last Alliance Action Days, which were lasting over 5 weeks, we have 114 events. And these events were, as you see here, one big brunch on the marketplace. Everybody was coming together, bringing some food, German food, Lebanese food, Turkish food. And so we were talking and eating together. And the first thing is, when you know each other, I don't think you love each other, but you don't fear each other anymore. If you have eaten with someone together, you say, okay, it was nice. Sometimes it was very nice, or you say, okay, it was okay, but you don't fear him anymore. So we are always looking to bringing people together. We're also looking through music, cultural events, bring people together. We have an Oriental Music Academy. We also have a Pop Academy, and we also try to mix different culture or different things together, because we say this brings us more innovation. It brings people together, and as you see, the people after such events, I wouldn't say they all have a smile on their face, but they say, hey, it was okay. And we also ask them after some events, how do you feel? We also make opinion polls, and at the moment, 94% of the Mannheimers, whether they are migrants or Germans or whatever, say, hey, we are satisfied with the life in Mannheim. And that's, for us, a very good indicator to say the work is not so bad. But we still have to work on it every day and every month to say we have to stabilize it, because at the moment, as we see, we have a very difficult feeling in the world. Some call it the VUCA world, which is very volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguity. And this means in the rationalities of different cultures, it could be a very big problem. And we don't want to have struggles outside coming into our city. So we always have to work on this and foster it and to say, okay, we want to live together in diversity. We are convinced that different people bring more ideas out of it. And so when we started to apply for an Urban Thinkers Campus, which was a form from the World Urban Campaign for preparing the Habitat 3 committee and the conference, we were looking to get a lot of people from all groups in Mannheim together to say, what does that mean to be international related? What does it mean for us to be a sustainable city? And there we have a declaration called the Mannheim Manifesto, which we brought to Quito. And we were discussing about the urban citizenship in a nomadic world. Because everything at the moment is nomadic. People, money, ideas, goods. And so this is at the moment the normal way and not the unnormal way, as some people at the moment are saying. And so we are always looking also to fostering city-to-city cooperation, because we see not economically, but also for the people in their minds, it's a positive effect to get internationally involved, though we are for German cities with only 300,000 inhabitants playing a big role in a league at the moment like Munich and Hamburg, and others are telling us why you're doing this. This costs a lot of money or people, but we are convinced for us it brings us more worth also into the city and into the people. Yeah, and at the moment we are trying in a big participation process to bring the SDGs together with our long-time vision. We are one of the rare cities in Germany who has a strategic management system. This means, like in UK and other nation states, we have a long-term strategy. At the moment, we want to foster urbanity. We want to fight against inequalities, for instance, in education, and we want to raise the city engagement. And then we bring it down to the departments and the target systems and the units with performance indicators in a usual standardized management circle, plan, do, check, act. And so we can bring it down and see, okay, our work, is it effectful? Has it an impact? Or was it a good try, but with no result. And so it makes it easy for us when we are now coping with the people to get a new Mannheim Vision 2030 for mixing the sustainable development goals together with the Mannheim strategy. We can put it directly in our budget plan, which is the main instrument for German communities and politicians to make politics. And so it has directly an effect in the next year to say, okay, the money is spent on our Vision Mannheim 2030. And the big thing for us 2 years ago was also for having international charters. Sometimes for citizens in the community, it's far away. When you say there is a new charter from the United Nations, they say, okay, what does it have to do with us? And then we say, okay, for instance, the SDGs are relevant for everyone. And so when we say we have 3 dimensions, when we say no poverty, we also say no poverty in Mannheim. And that means we are looking for affordable housing. We are looking for people who are helping other peoples. We are looking for teaching young children or giving mothers who have no work a consultant to bring them to work. So we say it's also an issue which we have to fulfill in our city. The other thing is we can help perhaps others to have no or less poverty in their cities. For instance, when we buy goods, when we are buying stones for our streets, we are looking that they are not made from children work. So that we say cheap is one thing, but the other thing is we want to help others, so we are looking for fair trade products. And in the third thing, we say we want to help directly in a city-to-city cooperations other cities to fulfill their goals. And at the moment, we have in Kilis a project with the Ministry of Development. It's a Turkish city near the Syrian border, where teachers from our school, which are teaching to be a cook or to be a barber, are teaching Syrian refugees, so that when the war is over and they can go back, they have an education and can go on a job. And so we are trying to make a little step for making the world better. Yeah, and for us, one effort and one, we don't know how we have to cope with it. On the one hand, 35% of Mannheimers are engaged in voluntary work. That's a lot. They're engaged in social affairs, in health affairs, or in sport affairs, so they are helping each other. On the other hand, only 40%, 38.7%, are voting in the local elections. And this is a problem for us, because at the moment we have a very diversified party system in the councillors, and it's hard to get majorities. And we are struggling with this. And so I was impressed with Sweden with the 85% total elections from the voters. That's great. And at the moment we have a problem from the German law, because we are not allowed to make a lot of merchandising for the elections, because the German law said it's also allowed to go not to the vote. And if you are too pushy to say to the people in the advertisement, go to the elections, then the election can be cancelled. And so we have to struggle with it. Yeah, and so we try, because we are convinced that social cohesion for us is the main challenge. And I hope we can share another experience with you. You can look on our website, and perhaps you can share the Mannheim Declaration or adopt it for your city. Thank you.
Please stay, please stay, please stay. Wow. So you're not allowed. No, let's not go there. But I have a question which is very practical. It suddenly struck me. You said you had been destroyed 3 times, right? Yeah. Is there sort of a Mannheim attitude? Okay, we'll rise and we'll build again. What's up with that?
There is an attitude, and we are also have an attitude. If no one is helping us, whether the national state or the federal state, we do it on our own. Oh, okay. We're not waiting.
Because
that's hard, but because sometimes the people said, oh, they can do it on their own, but we have to.
Because there's something about these complex issues which is, I think, at least relevant in our Swedish context, is the fact that we've had peace for, 2 centuries? We've sort of practiced at being complacent and taking things for granted. Yet you've been in the fire, so to say, and really risen out of it. And some people say, well, in order for you to really wake up, the sense of urgency has to be in your face. And you've had that. So that was suddenly popped into my mind. Yes, we have 80 or whatever percent, but we take it for granted. So there's something in those 35% which is really interesting. But if the representative power isn't, what would you call it, well grounded, of course, it's not that strong. So there's something in that. You come from another direction.
Yeah, but I don't know. Some of the scientists say, hey, the people are satisfied. 94%, that's great. Yeah. On the other hand, decisions are made in the parliament. And at the moment, we have a lot of people who are going to elections more than others, who are looking for the simple answers in a complex world. And that's bad. And if you hear them then in the parliament, they have no solutions. I talked to some councillors from the right-wing party and asked them, because of the process, to get more of their voters involved. No answers.
So the risk is that the dark side can use the elections to gain power, and that is the big one, of course.